The Dallas Mavericks, led by Luka Doncic, traveled to San Francisco to take on the Warriors, led by Stephen Curry. It is game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, and my best bets are on the way. We got our favorite player prop, spread lean, and same game parlay coming right up. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. We are back. Let's recap yesterday like we normally do. It was an 0-1 day for our official picks. It's Jason Tatum under 28.5 points. Yeah, he scores 29 on the dot. He had 21 in the first half, and then, of course, he hits a three-pointer late in the fourth quarter to go over and hit that 29 points right on the hook. But either way, our leans did pretty well. We took the Heat money line, and we took Tatum's over 6.5 rebounds. And then, of course, our same-game parlay, cashed that one as well. Hopefully, we helped you guys make some money with those picks. Shame Tatum went over, but not much we can do about Al Horford and Marcus Smart getting announced out, and we're going to keep getting into it. Now, if you haven't been checking out our daily MLB best bets videos, doing yourself a service. We've had not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 straight winning days over in the MLB, so definitely go check that out. That video is posted right before this one, but if you are new to the Calling Our Shot channel, I appreciate you for coming out to this video. We're going to be doing a video like this for every single playoff game like we've been doing all season long. If you want to hit that subscribe button, we certainly would appreciate it as we're grinding towards 34,000 subscribers, trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. Now, drop your like and comment your best bet for this game down below. Got a couple final notes. Use our sportsbook sign-up link for Caesars Sportsbook, one of my favorite sportsbooks out there. And if you sign up using our link, you get a first bet insurance up to $1,100. If your first bet loses, you get all that stake back. If you want to take advantage, use that dimers.com/COS link. I'll put it towards the top of the description. Definitely go check it out. We have a ton of cool sign-up bonuses over there. And if you use those, help us over here at the Calling Our Shot channel. Number 2, speaking of dimers, our weekly podcast will be live at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So definitely come out if you want to hear I'll answer all your questions about the Mavericks versus the Warriors. We'll be talking about that game, the ins and outs of that whole game for about 30 minutes. If you want to come out to our weekly live stream, we certainly would appreciate it. 6 p.m. Eastern time. Set your alarms. We'll be live for about 30 minutes. And my last note, number 3, so we had our weekly podcast this week. It will be posted at 10 a.m. Eastern time, a little bit later this morning. We did not have a special guest, but Logan and I got that itch for that NFL season, which is still three plus months away. But we got a little NFL itch going. We appreciate you if you want to tune in and watch our weekly podcast. It is live at 10 a.m. Eastern time on the channel, or you can get it wherever you download your podcast, Spotify, Apple, you name it. It's there. Now, shout out to all our COS All-Stars. Hopefully, we've been helping you make some money, whether it's the NBA or the MLB. If you want to become an All-Star and support us a little bit more, we would appreciate it. For all the work we do for free, we got VMAC, we got Harold, we got Patrick, we got Devin, we got Cosina17, and Jake. Thank you guys all for supporting the channel. You guys are the real MVPs. My absolute final note today is my fiance's birthday. So I apologize if I'm not too active in the comments like it normally is, but shout out to Trina. She's been not just a day 1, a day 0 supporter. She helped me start up this whole channel. So without her, there would be nothing going on. So shout out to Trina. Show her some love in the comments. She's the real MVP. Honestly, the COS All-Stars, she actually is a COS All-Star, actually, but she is the real MVP. Show her some love in the comments. Wish her a happy birthday. So either way, let's waste no more time. Hop into my favorite play of this game, game 1. We're going Klay Thompson. We're taking his under, 21.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, I know people don't like betting unders, especially Klay. I love Klay, but look, this is game 6. This is not game 6. This is game 1. And we saw Klay Thompson. I think this is a perfect game to fade him after dropping 30-ish points in game 6 to close out the Grizzlies. Now, in 11 playoff games so far, obviously they played 6 against the Grizzlies, 5 against the Nuggets. We see Klay, he's under in 8 of those games. So 8 of 11, conversion rate, not too shabby. Now, last series versus Memphis, he was under in 5 of 6 games, including 3 games in which he scored 15 or less in all of them. So he wasn't necessarily getting too close to this line. And we know Klay, where does he do all his damage? It's from the three-point line. I mean, if he's going to hit this over, he's going to have to knock down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 three-pointers, and I just don't see it happening today because the Mavs are notoriously a team that Klay has struggled against. In his last 5 matchups versus them, under in all of them. Now, we have to take this with a grain of salt. The two matchups this year scored 14 and 16 points against them, but previous matchups back in 2019 and 2018 scored 8, 15, and 16 points. So still under in 5 straight. Obviously, take those last 3 with a grain of salt because that was, pre-injury Klay Thompson. But we look at Dallas, like I said, Klay's going to get the majority of his points from the three-point line. Well, Dallas allowed the fewest three-pointers made this season. So they're a team that's really taking people away from the three-point line. That's why I'm curious how this matchup goes. We saw the Suns obviously struggle to knock down threes against the Mavericks. Shout out Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and whatnot. We'll talk about them in a second. But still, we look at, Klay Thompson's specific position. Well, the Mavericks allowed the 5th fewest points per game to opposing shooting guards, if you want to consider Klay a shooting guard, and the fewest three-pointers made to shooting guards this year. If you want to consider Klay a small forward, well, good. They allowed the 6th fewest points per game to small forwards and the 3rd fewest three-pointers made to that position. So either way you want to consider it, Klay Thompson a shooting guard or a small forward, The Mavs have defended that position pretty well. Now, I don't necessarily know who we get from who's going to necessarily guard Klay Thompson in this one, but we saw Devin Booker and CP3 both struggle, both the guards for him. We saw Mikal Bridges, not that I want to compare Mikal to Klay Thompson. He also struggled in that series, and I don't know if he necessarily gets Bullock or Dorian Finney-Smith today, but I imagine he gets one of those guys. I don't see them putting Jalen Brunson on him. I just don't see that happening. So I think he'll get either Bullock or Dorian Finney-Smith. Probably lean towards, probably Bullock, because I think Bullock's probably a guy that runs three-point lines a little bit more. Maybe they put DFS on Steph Curry, give him a guy that's longer. I don't really know, but I think one of those two guys will be on Klay Thompson today. Now we look at Thompson career, 19.3 points per game in the playoffs. So even though when he was in his prime, which I would argue he's probably past that prime given all the injuries, but even when he was killing it, still this guy that was not going over this line all too often. So an average performance would still be under this 21.5 line. Sorry, Klay, I love you, but we're taking your under 21.5 points. I'm just going to take it. I don't really love that line today. Now, when I go into the spread lean, now I'm going to give you my game pick. I honestly don't really like this game a whole lot in terms of, I can't get a good read on either of these two teams. I'd lean the Mavericks, but I kind of like the over, 213.5 points, a little bit more. I feel like a lot of people take a lot of unders, especially game-wise, in the playoffs, and, well, I don't blame them. Like, if you took the Heat-Celtics under yesterday, yeah, you definitely didn't hit that one. It wasn't really that close, but I think we see a good amount of points scored in this one. We saw in that Mavs-Suns series, we saw the Mavs play and score a lot more points on the road than they did really at home, and they definitely gave up a lot more points when they were on the road. I think they hit the over pretty much in all 3 or 4 of the games in Phoenix. So maybe they finish on 213 in the final game because the Suns obviously only scored 90 points. But still, I lean the over in this one. It's just a spread. It's just a game pick like lean. I'm not really going to put any money on it. I don't really have a good lean towards who wins this game. I'll be rooting for the Mavericks just because I think they're a cool story. But do they win it? I really don't know. Let me know who you guys think is going to win down below. And then if I wanted another lean for a player prop, I like Draymond Green, under 23.5 PRAs. Draymond, he is who he is, but there's so many ways that Draymond could go under here. He could get ejected, could foul out, could not score, could not get a lot of rebounds. I don't know what the Warriors are going to do defensively to stop Luka. Obviously, stopping him in the regular season's a little bit different than stopping him in the postseason. He's going to play 38, 40 minutes tonight. And so what do you expect from Luka, and what do you expect the Mavs or the Warriors to throw at him? They'll probably put Wiggins on him, I'd imagine, but Draymond Green will likely get his rotations in terms of, switches and whatnot. We're going to see a lot of small ball played by the Warriors, most likely, a lot less Kevon Looney, a lot less Dwight Powell. I think we'll see a similar lineup from the Mavs in terms of Kleber at the 5, putting Luka at the 4, and then having Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, and those guys kind of run it, and Dorian Finney-Smith kind of run around. So I think we'll see a lot of small ball here. That's why when we get into my same game parlay, you'll see kind of what I mean. Now, I just like that Draymond under 23.5 PRAs. I think it's a decent one. Not really a lot of player prop lines stuck out to me. You'll hear me talk about a couple other lines in the same game parlay, which let's switch over to that. We cashed yesterday. Let's cash out again. We got 5 legs, plus 222 odds. This is what we're riding with. Luka, 8+ rebounds. He's the only over we're taking in this one. Then we got Luka under 11.5 assists, Draymond under 9.5 assists, Klay Thompson under 25.5 points, and Stephen Curry under 32.5 points. Now, you can see these are alt lines. Now, I know people are only on DraftKings, and that's unfortunate. Now, if you can't get these alt lines, I'd probably just avoid it if you don't have a FanDuel line, because I think FanDuel is the best place to play same-game parlays, in my opinion. But let's talk about each of these legs, and you can use them to whatever your advantage. Now, Luka, 8+ rebounds. His line's 9.5, so I ask him for 8, not asking for a whole lot. But, well, it still is 8 rebounds. It's going to be tough. It's a playoff game. But he has hit this in 8 of 10 playoff games so far this year. He hit this in 3 straight versus Golden State. And in the games you see where, Luka's not getting 8+ rebounds against Golden State, he's ending with 6 or 7. I think the extra minutes that I'll play today, given that it will be a small ball lineup, not sure who they let Luka guard. I still like that one. I think we'll see Luka get 8+ rebounds. I think they can get that done. Probably get close to a double-double in terms of rebounds. He didn't play as many minutes in those games against the Warriors. He'll play 38 to 40-ish tonight, assuming the game's close. Now, Luka under 11.5 assists. Now, in 14 career games versus the Warriors, well, he's under this line in 13 of them. He did have one game with, 15 assists. If he goes out there and gets 15 assists in the playoff game, shout out to him. But, in the games this year against them, he's had 8, 3, 2, and 9 assists versus the Warriors. I just don't see him getting 11 over 12 assists, so that's why I threw that in there. His regular line's, I think, 8.5, maybe plus value, so 11.5, not asking, him to get 12 assists would be an anomaly today. I don't see that happening. Now, Draymond Green under 9.5 assists. Now, he's under this line in 10 of 11 postseason games so far this year, and he only played Dallas once this year. He had 4 assists in that matchup, which is kind of why I was leaning towards his under in PRAs, because I think he had 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. A very bad game for him. Now, Dallas, we saw them bottle up CP3's assist numbers. CP3 didn't even get 10+ assists, I think, in one game. Maybe he got it once. But Look, this Draymond Green is he's gonna pass the ball a lot, but it's a Mavs team that limited a lot of opposing assists. I think they're gonna make the Warriors try to beat them a little bit more isolation than their normal offense, running guys all around. I just don't think 10 assists versus them is gonna be really easy for Draymond Green to get. So I'll take his under 9.5 assists. His regular line's like 6.5. Putting up a little bit alt line at 9.5. I think that's pretty sharp. Now, Klay Thompson under 25.5 points. I don't really have to talk about that. I already did enough. Stephen Curry under 32.5 points. I know it's weird to fade Steph and Klay, and then I also kind of lean the over in this one, but I still think, Curry 32.5 is a little bit high. I think his regular line is about 27.5 for to guess. Now, Stephen Curry in 4 games versus the Mavs this year, 14, 18, 27, and 21 points. These lines are super sharp when you come to the playoffs. And so if you kind of do these alt lines, you're going to be pretty good, I think, pretty solid because the lines are sharp. We saw Jason Tatum end with 29 points yesterday. His line was 28.5 once Smart and Horford were out. Went up to 29.5, of course, finishes right in the middle. So I like that Stephen Curry under 32.5 points. I think we'll get a lot of Bullock or Dorian Finney-Smith. They'll do a good job defending Steph Curry. I don't think they let him get loose in this one. Plus, 32 points is still pretty good in a playoff game, so and he'd still stay under this line. So those are my 5 legs. My only official play that we'll be riding with will be, of course, we'll be taking that play that we talked about earlier, Klay Thompson under 21.5 points. I'll see you guys live on our live stream later tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, our podcast live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, our MLB video live before this one. Go check it out, 5 straight winning days. Let's keep getting after it. I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. This has been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.